Yes, team, and welcome to the latest session of Mindset Mastery. So today we're going to be talking about how to get motivated, but more importantly, how to stay motivated. Now, over the years, I've heard these phrases so many times, and a lot of you are probably going to connect with them, or you'll have a point when you'll remember saying these things. I certainly know I have, right? So a big one, when as soon as we release one of our body transformation pictures, loads of the client's friends post on it. Oh, Lorraine, you've done so well. I wish I had your motivation. Like Lorraine was some kind of blessed child who just popped out, flexing her guns, motivated and ready to go for a run. People say, if only I could find the motivation. People say, I need you to motivate me, Lee. I need someone to motivate me. People say, I've lost my motivation. They say, I can't find my motivation. They say, I just need to get my motivation back. And the biggest one that we're going to focus on is people say, if only I had the motivation, I would insert whatever your dream is. Now, today we're going to discuss exactly what motivation is, why everyone is so fixated on needing it, and why you think it's the key to getting results, and why it's categorically not. So the first thing I want you to understand is there are two types of motivation. There's internal motivation, and there's external motivation or drivers. Just like we talk about everything in life being internal and external. We can't change the external world, but we can change the internal. If we sort the internal, the external will follow. Same as if we have chaos in our head, we'll have chaos in our life. Now, motivation is not nearly as important as you think it is. And if you're fixated on needing it to take action, you'll get used to my occasional swear word. You are fogged, okay? Because when we think it's the key to achieving results, we're wrong. But also, we can't write it off. Like when Goggins says, motivation is bullcrap. I tell you what, it damn well helps when you've got it though, doesn't it? How do you feel when you feel motivated? You feel amazing. You want to take action. You feel good, you feel happy. People around you feel happy because they're buzzing off of your motivation and your energy. It's why most people employ me to be their coach, because they want to get around my energy. They want to get around my motivation. So I've been asked probably 1,000 times, whether it's from clients or DMs on Instagram or anything, how do I get motivated? But more importantly, how do I stay motivated? Because most people at some point in life have managed to get started, but they then stop. And then they start, and then they stop, and then they start, and then they stop, and then they start, and then they stop. And they never go anywhere. So it's not just about getting motivated. Anyone can get motivated, but it's how do I stay motivated? And what do I do when I lose motivation? Now, the question I'm going to leave you with to fester in your mind before I dive into this training is, what if thinking you need motivation to achieve your dreams is actually the problem? Because I'm here to tell you that it is. You won't have seen another training like this. So switch on. Now here's the clue. I did not need any motivation to run 200 consecutive miles. Zero. I had it, but I didn't need it because I had meaning, aka my why. And if you find your why, then you'll find your way. Now, motivation is the internal and the external factors that govern whether or not we take action. It's that simple. Whether we take the action needed towards a goal, to achieve a goal, whether you get started. Some people will never get started because they'll say they didn't have the motivation, or they wish they had the motivation, or they couldn't get themselves motivated. And it's also whether you can sustain the action once you've started it. Anyone can do good things in the moment, when energy's high, when the PT's with you, when the coach is with you, when everyone's clapping, when people are watching, when your family's there. It's easy. Like probably the easiest part of the 200-mile run was the 200-mile run. Why? I had my team, I had my family, I had the doctor, I had Dr. Paul, I had people watching, I had constant support, constant backslapping, hundreds of support runners. Some of you are watching now. That's not the difficult bit. The difficult bit's the cold, wet mornings when you're on your own. And that's when you say you need motivation, but you don't. Now, motivation is the meaning and the purpose behind any decision you make to either do the work or not do the work that's needed in order to achieve the goal or the life that you say you want. Now, listen really carefully here. Internal motivation is personal satisfaction from achieving a goal. It's internal. It's how you feel. There's no physical thing. External motivation is being driven by external rewards, recognition, validation, significance, money, status, and everything in between. Again, sometimes both are great, but I wouldn't rely on either. I would be lying if I didn't say I didn't buzz off the significance that I got from that run, if I didn't enjoy that adulation, if I didn't enjoy the fact knowing that 65% of people who attempt that fail it. Of course it makes you feel good, but it's not what got me out on the training runs. Okay? So the reason why it's so important that you understand this is because you can control the internal, but you can't control the external. And I'm going to teach you how we apply this to every single area of life, because your mind's exactly the same. You can control the internal, but you can't control the external. And this is why motivation is not the key. And if you take one thing away from it, let it be this one thing. Because to get motivation, you need to do the work first. Motivation is always related to the outcome, external, or the feeling, internal, that you get from doing the thing. You don't get it before. You might feel it a little bit if you listen to like a video like this, but real motivation comes after taking the action and seeing results. And if you're relying on it to get your ass off the couch to do the work, to have the conversation, to make the move, to change the job, whatever it is that's holding you back, overcome the limiting beliefs, push through fear, then you are fucked. Because motivation is like the British weather. It will never be consistent, it'll always change, and you sure to hell can't fucking rely on it. So if you only do the work when you feel motivated, it's only going to be half the time at best. If you think you need to rely on someone else to motivate you, then your whole life is in someone else's hands. Your life isn't their responsibility, it's yours. So you have to understand that motivation comes through action. ABC, action brings change. So you take action, you get the reward, internal or external, which we'll come on to again. You might see there's a bit of a theme developing here. And then you have the motivation to do more. So there were over 1,000 training hours that built up to that 200-mile run. Do you really think I was motivated to do each of those sessions? 10 times 800-meter runs with 2 minutes rest in the pouring rain at Rother Valley. It's on my Instagram stories, on my Instagram feed. I was not motivated that day. I hated it. But my plan and my schedule and my meaning and my why and my purpose dictated my action. My plan dictates my action, not my feelings, which is what I'm going to come on to. So the highest achievers in body, in business, in life, happiness, personal happiness, everything I believe leads back to personal happiness, whether it's the body goal, the business goal, the money, or everything in between. But the highest achievers don't do things for external validation, for external motivation. You'll think they do. Like Cristiano Ronaldo won't have done anything he did for the things that he's got. He just fucking loves playing football. That's it. And he wants to be the best. And this is what we're going to come on to, how we, whether it's body, business or life, Fall in love with the process, not the prize. Learn to love the journey. Forget about the destination. Okay? They do it because they love it. And I'm going to heavily relate this to training. I know some of you were on the body transformation plan, some of you were on mindset mastery. But I train hard and eat well because I love it. And I respect my body and it makes me feel good. There was a time when I did it for other people, for validation, for Instagram stories, for abs, for female attention, for significance. Never lasted long. So the reward is you feel good. You go to the gym, you feel good. You eat a healthy meal, you feel good. The other reward is you look good. And when you look good, you feel good. Develops your confidence and everything falls in line with it. But it doesn't come from the external. And this will be the thing that will change your life forever if you can apply it. Clue, you can't hate yourself into achieving anything, and you'll never be motivated to do something if you're doing it as a pain escape for something that's making you feel bad. Extra clue, if you go into the gym because you fucking hate your body, that's why you keep quitting after 2 to 3 weeks. How about you go to the gym because you love your body and you want to start treating it with respect? Very different driver, but I'll come back to that. So, doing something for yourself and how it makes you feel is probably the strongest motivator in the world. And it's the only one that you can control. And we're going to learn how this comes into dopamine, especially for the ADHDers. So, dopamine and motivation and what's called the dopamine reward system are hugely connected, more so than you will ever have realised until you watch this training. But the feel-good thing we can control. So if I put my favourite house record on now, really loudly, what happens? I release dopamine. I'm in control of it. What's the key to motivation? Dopamine. I'll come back to that. So if you exercise because it feels good, rather than you hate your body, which one sounds more fun? Which one sounds more motivating? Of course, because you love the process. So, yes, the external can help. Yes, when you post a picture on Instagram and somebody says, "Oh my God, you look insane," it feels good. Feels good, makes you feel motivated. But one is more than the other, okay? And if you're relying on rewards, status, recognition, financial or otherwise, in order to do the work, then it's a very, very dark road. And that should be seen as a bonus, not the driver. Like when I got injured at 170 miles, it was internal reasons and avoidance of pain that got me through the last 30 miles. Because I didn't want to quit. It wasn't wanting the adulation. I wasn't even thinking about that at that point. You've seen the end of the video. I really didn't care apart from the fact that it was over. Okay? I dug deep on the internal reasons. I thought about Logan. I thought about Alfie. I thought about the reason why I was doing it. Because if you find your why, then you'll find your way. At that point, everything else didn't matter. So again, external, we can actually change the two external things as well. So you can work hard to get a bonus to buy a car because it makes you feel good and other people think of you as being more significant. Wow, he must be smashing it. Look at his car. That's where I lived for many years. Wasted thousands and thousands of pounds trying to prove myself to other people. Or you can switch the same external. I work really hard to put my kids through school so they never miss an opportunity and they get the best education possible. That's external, ethnocentric, external, egocentric. They're both external, one's for you, one's for others. The one for others will be stronger, but I'm going to come on to that as well. But making the reward about others will ultimately be a stronger motivation. But internal is a feeling, external is an outcome. You can't control the outcome. That's why all three of those runs, both 100 milers and the 200 miler, First one was for Ross and Laura. The second one was for Jason, Lacey and John. Third one was for little Alfie. Now, touching on what I said there, this is one that's not talked about, but the avoidance of pain is a great motivator that's never talked about. That's what that was in that situation. I could have the pain of having to tell a little boy who's got leukemia and Down syndrome that I quit on 170 miles because I was in pain, of telling my son that, of telling my partner that, of letting my clients down, letting myself down, or I could dig deep and crack on. So a very big driver there for me was the avoidance of pain. I didn't want to feel that pain internally. Okay? Now, it can be a great motivator, but it can also work the other way. So some of this you need to figure out what's right for you. Now, if you had to lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days, or you were going to die, would you do it? How would you be showing up? Same way I showed up for that last 30 miles. Willing to go through anything to avoid that pain. If you were going to lose your house, how would you be showing up at work? If you had to stop drinking or taking drugs, or you were never going to see your kids again, would you stop drinking or taking drugs? I would hope so. So avoidance of pain can be a driver. So there's actually 5 types here. There's internal motivation, there's external motivation, internal feeling, external outcome. There's pain avoidance, and the opposite of that is the big reward. And then there's also egocentric and ethnocentric. So ego is about yourself, ethno is about others. So we have 5 types we can utilize, but we don't want to rely on any of them, which is what I'm going to come on to. So what if I tell you right now that none of that's actually important to achieve anything? It helps. It's like having a coach. It's like having a gym membership. It's like having accountability. It's having support. It all helps, but it's not the number one thing. What you need is your why. Those things all got me through the run in some point. Of course I love being on TV. Of course I love being in the newspapers. Of course I love being celebrated. Of course I love the personal achievement. Of course I love the feelings. But it's the why that's most important. Why are you doing it? That's what gets you up on the dark days, not motivation. That's what gets you to the gym when you don't want to feel like it. But you've got to make your why strong enough. If it's wishy-washy, as I said again, you're fucked. So we need a big, exciting goal. But more importantly, we need 4 things towards that. We need meaning. These are all parts of the why. We need meaning, we need purpose, and we need emotional leverage, and we need avoidance of pain. And then on top of that, we need to bring in a schedule and a plan. Because if we don't have the schedule and the plan, we'll always be dictated by our feelings. Trust me, I did not feel like doing half of those runs. So when you've got these, you won't need motivation. And the other truth is, you never lose motivation. People talk about this all the time. Oh, I've lost my motivation. You didn't. You got distracted. You got distracted by easy. You got distracted by negative. You got distracted by other people. But most of all, the reason why you lose motivation, the reason why you quit, the reason why you keep starting and stopping, and you have to be honest with yourself about this, normally because you didn't care enough. Because it wasn't internal. Maybe you thought you had to lose weight for somebody else. Many of my challenges, the pain that I've gone through, I did it because I was chasing ghosts. Trying to impress and prove myself to people who aren't even fucking alive. Don't even exist. It's the same when people talk about fear. What's the reason? The only reason people don't do something is because they're afraid. They're normally afraid of getting mocked, judged, or laughed at. Well, who is it that you're afraid of getting mocked, judged, or laughed at? Well, I don't really know. So again, you can either be chasing things to prove yourself to people that don't exist, or avoiding pain and discomfort, or a feeling that you think you're going to get from other people that don't exist. Neither of them should be important. But But if the goal doesn't have meaning or it doesn't have purpose, there is no emotional leverage. I would not have finished those challenges without the ethnocentro part of it. The external. But external in terms of other people, not the outcome. So be realistic about that. If you failed in the past, it probably just wasn't important to you. No matter how much you've said it is, it probably wasn't high enough up your values list. Go and have a look down your bank statement. That will show you what you value the most. Keep a time diary this week, every single hour of every single day of what you do. That will show you what you value the most. You can't say you value fitness, mental health, and exercise, yet your schedule says otherwise, because you'll always do what you follow. You'll always do what you value. You'll always do what's important to you. It's human nature. So, if we want to change this though, but we want new values, new actions, how do we do it? Well, you might be saying, I've got all that, but I still quit. You can change that. And the reason why you change it is focusing on the things that you need outside of motivation. So you need to do the deep work. You need a proper plan. You need a schedule. You need a coach. You need accountability. You need community. You need support. All of those will help with motivation. Now, I hold my clients to a higher standard than they hold themselves. I give them a community that holds them to a higher standard than they hold themselves. And a peer group. We know this, we've talked about this. A peer group is a group of people that you upscale your behaviour to stay part of. Or you leave the peer group because you can't keep up. The standards are highlighting what you're not doing. And you normally run back to you lose a peer group that doesn't hold you accountable. That triggers you, good. Many people do this. As soon as it gets hard, they choose easy. Multiple people within my program have said this in the past. I don't like the group. Seeing everybody achieving stuff just reminds me of what I'm not achieving. Yeah, it's triggering you because you're not doing the work. So again, you can twist that and you can use those people as inspiration. God, they're showing me what's possible, but you're actually using it as they're showing me that what I'm not doing. So rather than upscaling to remain part of it, you want to run away and hide and go back to your friends that don't hold you accountable. So outside of that, all of those things that I've just discussed that we need, the why is still the most important, in my opinion, followed by the plan. Because when you have the plan, that will dictate your actions, not your feelings. There's like all of those runs, like you guys know my running coach was Marcus Smith from Inner Fight in Dubai. And then after that, it was Dr. Paul Rimmer. All of my systems, my watch, my heart rate monitor, my schedule, everything was agreed, put in place, and it was linked up to their computers. Marcus even knew where I was from Dubai when I was running. So accountability, support, a plan, and know where to hide. But only you can decide whether you're then going to do the work within that to follow that plan and upscale and be part of the plan that you've paid to be part of, essentially. Or when it gets tough, you can escape. So that will be when your feelings are dictating your action, not your plan. When it's your plan and the why is strong enough, you just do the work. If not, you'll always struggle. So drifting back to motivation. Motivation is essentially saying, I want to achieve X, but I'm not doing the work. This is where most people live every week. I want this body, but I keep skipping the gym. I want this body, but I keep eating shit and getting smashed every weekend. I want to heal my mental health, but I keep making excuses. I want to be around good energy, but all I do is blame, complain, and justify. I want people to love me, but all I do is hate others. Okay, we're all mirrors, but that's another training. So I actually wrote down here, just to reiterate everything that I've just said, when I was journaling. How do I get myself to do the work? And I've been here, so if you are here, I get it. So I want to achieve this, but I'm still not doing the work. Any of the ADHDers as well know this is hard. I've had days when I want the thing, but I'm just not done the work. I can't do it. Can't focus. Can't control my brain. 100 tasks going on at once. So what do I need to get the motivation to do the work? Because it's only the catalyst to do the work, right? And I actually wrote down I need 11 things. I need a goal that makes me feel excited. Shit goals require shit efforts. So if your goal's mediocre and there's no big reward, you're probably never going to be motivated. I need a plan. I need a strong why, meaning, purpose and emotional leverage. I need a schedule to go with the plan. I need a coach. I need a community. I need accountability. I need support. I need measurement of progress. I need reward and I need rest. 11 things. Motivation's not in any of them. Okay? Because when I've got all of them, it's very difficult for me to not take action. There's nowhere to hide. And when there's nowhere to hide, I'll start doing the work. And when you start doing the work, you'll start seeing results. When you start seeing the results, you'll feel motivated to take more action rather than taking the easy road out. But that motivation comes after the action, not before. Something quickly as well that I want people to understand before I go on, because this has just come into my mind, something from this weekend. So, a couple of people have quit this plan recently. And lots of people have quit for this reason in the past, whether it's with me or anything else. This classic phrase, I just don't have the headspace right now. I want you to ask yourself this question today. If you don't have the headspace for your inspiring future and goals, what is it that you do have your headspace for? What do you have the headspace for? Or something happens, this has happened. I don't have the headspace because this has happened. Well, what do you have the headspace for? Being tired, miserable, fat, lazy and avoiding work? Because you've got to have the headspace for something else. And whatever's happening in your life, running away from your goals doesn't make you feel better. Just makes you feel worse. What you're saying really is, I don't want to do the work. And also, something I've picked up on this weekend, massively. People quit in life because they have a huge array of social events coming up. There's just no point me doing this now. I've got something in every weekend for the next 12 weeks. Well, I urge you to think about this, that's a you problem, not a social problem. So I'm just going to pick 3 people because I watched it this weekend and I actually quite enjoy the programme. One of them's actually my secret crush. I'll let you guess which one. So, Amanda Holden, Alicia, Simon Cowell. They're all in pretty fucking good shape, especially for how old they are. Do you not think they have social lives? Do you not think they have packed diaries every weekend? Yeah, they might all be absolutely fucking loaded and they've probably got coaches and personal trainers, but guess what, so have you. The difference is they don't relate every social event to getting smashed out of their fucking bonds and seeing how much food they can eat. It's not the social event that's the problem. It's not your holiday. It's not Christmas. It's not Wimbledon. It's not going to Queen's. It's not going to watch the rugby. It's not going to the Formula One. It's not your weekend away. It's not the stag party. It's what you choose to make it mean and do when you're there that then takes you away from your goal and away from your schedule. And then you don't feel motivated because you don't have any of those things. So if you want to move forward now and start changing this, like start with the internal. But don't rely on any of them to take action. Because whether it's internal or external, what will happen is you'll still fall into the fallacy of I'm happy when. That's the typical external motivation. I'll be happy when I've got a 5-bedroom house. I'll be happy when I find my dream partner. I'll be happy when I make my first million. I'll be happy when I get a Range Rover. I'll be happy when I get abs. And all of those things, none of them made me happy. Because then there always has to be another, and another, and another and another. And it never ends. There will be no happy ending to an unhappy journey. Because if you hate what you're doing to get what you want, you're still going to hate your life. You're still going to be unhappy. And it will never end. Okay? So find your internal and the external will follow, because nobody can take your internal away. But don't rely on any of them, because the action has to happen first. So train and eat well because you love your body, not because you hate it. There's research numbers on this as well, right? People who try and exercise because they hate their body and they want to lose weight put virtually zero effort in when they get to the gym. I think it's like 70% less or something. They skip sessions, they cheat on their diet. People who train and eat well because they love and respect their body, they understand it makes them feel good, show up 100%. Like, go and train to make yourself feel good because you respect yourself. And again, don't expect other people to respect you and value you when you don't even respect and value your own fucking body. Sounds harsh, but it's true. Nobody respects me. You shouldn't need them to. Respect yourself. Nobody values me. You shouldn't need them to. Value yourself. Other people's opinions are none of your business. Other people's happiness is none of your business. Yours is. And it's not your responsibility. Theirs, not yours. So this is what happens when you get motivated, then quit. How many of you chase the external of the scales every fucking week? It doesn't matter how many fucking times I tell you. I've done like 3-hour-long videos on it. The number on the scales does not define you. And yes, I don't fall into that bullcrap of this stuff that shit coaches say about, you might not be losing weight because you're gaining as much muscle as you are losing body fat. Fucking bollocks. Never happened, never will do. No one in the world has ever gained 7 pounds of muscle in the same time they lost 7 pounds of fat. If you did, you look like a fitness model. Okay? If you're in a calorie deficit and you're exercising, you should be losing weight most weeks. However, if you're using that as your only external motivation to make you feel good, then you're setting yourself up to make you feel bad. When you feel bad, you don't release dopamine. There's no dopamine reward system and you won't be inspired to do the work. Okay? So again, do it because it feels good, not because you're chasing a number at the end of the week, because you love your body. You can't control that number on the scales. So if that's the only reason you're going to the gym and eating well, because you want to see that going down, that's why you feel shit. When you feel shit, you lose motivation. When you lose motivation, you don't want to train. So this happens when you chase the feeling, not the outcome. So many people have this has probably happened 100,000 times, I'm exaggerating, thousands of times on check-ins. Oh, I'm so disappointed. Do you know what? I'm fucking devastated. Absolutely devastated. Thought I'd have lost more this week. Thought I'd have lost weight. I've trained all week. I feel amazing. My husband's noticing. My work clothes fit better. My bras aren't as tight. I feel great. Dave in accounts said, wow, you look amazing. But I'll ignore all of that internal stuff that actually made me feel good, and I'll have a complete meltdown because the external thing that I'm not in control of hadn't changed. Learn from that, okay? Now, here's the mic drop moment that you probably haven't heard before, especially for ADHDers. This isn't just psychological. These feelings and these emotions and the motivation and everything related to it. It's also neurologically connected. Hormones and chemicals, mostly dopamine. And this is why I'm going to talk about the dopamine reward system. It's quite new learnings, this, for me as well. So dopamine is the hormone in your brain that makes you feel good. Okay? What do you feel when you're motivated? You feel good. So motivation is dopamine. But it's also the hormone that reinforces your behavior. Because when you do the behavior and it makes you feel good, whether it could be something toxic like sniffing a line and getting pissed, or it could be going for a run, eating healthy and listening to your favourite music. Dopamine doesn't judge. Okay? So both of those are going to release dopamine. And the more you do the thing, the more it rewards you and creates that behavior pattern, and it's subconsciously telling you to do more. That's why people get addicted to coke, porn, gambling, drugs, food, because they do it, and the dopamine reward system that doesn't judge, it's subjective, it says, that felt good, do more subconsciously, keep doing more, doing more and more and more and more and more, until you're completely addicted to all of those things and you can't get out of it. But it works the other way, okay? Now, the hormone reinforces the behavior to keep doing something, but you can get dopamine internally. This is what I'm trying to get across. So I smashed that workout. That was reaffirming it with yourself. I feel good. God, I feel terrible after that workout. Fuck me, I feel amazing after that workout. One's going to hardwire your behavior to do more. One's going to hardwire your behavior to do less. Okay? So if you're chasing the dopamine of the scales going down and how that's going to make you feel, then again, you're looking for external validation, which you can't control, to get your dopamine. Whereas if you're going for how far you ran, or how many times you showed up, or how it made you feel, then again, it's internal, so you can control that. So essentially, most people are addicted to dopamine, ADHD or not. It's why when guys have worked with a lot of addicts in the past, not just guys, ladies as well, that was a bit sexist, but they'll say, I don't know why I do what I do. I don't know why I do coke. I don't know why I watch porn. I don't know why I cheat. I don't know why I gamble. Of course you do, because it makes you feel good and it releases dopamine. And dopamine has a reward system that then makes you want to do that behavior again. But you can do that with training, healthy eating, being positive, mindset, going for a walk. So we're going to take two really simple situations, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works for both of them. So if dopamine is the hormone of more, because it always makes you want to have more, this is why people don't just have one drink or one line or place one bet, then it can also work the other way in terms of one run, one gym session, one healthy meal. And you can get addicted the same way. That's why people get addicted to exercise. We just need to learn how to change it. So we can then learn how to chase more. Now, dopamine's released when you're enjoying something. So that's why choosing exercise that you enjoy is so important. Picking mindset work that you enjoy is so important. Doing something you don't like because you hate your way you are is the quickest way on this earth to lose motivation and never take action. So successful people just enjoy doing what they do. Most of the people I know who have got the best bodies, they just love training. They love nourishing their body. They love eating healthy. They love the fitness lifestyle. Most of the top businessmen in the world, they just love the thing that they do. They didn't think, I want to be a millionaire so I can get this external reward and this dopamine and this house. They just love doing the thing because it feels good. So then what are they inspired to do? Well, they work harder and longer than anybody else because they're doing what they love. Does that make sense? So this is what I want you to work on, whether it's training, whether it's food, whether it's hobbies, whether it's goals. Find what you love and do that. I think it was Warren Buffett who famously said, find what you love and you'll never work a day, or you'll tap dance to work every day or something. Someone let me know what the proper quote is, but it's the most important thing in the world. It's the Japanese ikigai. It's the reason for being. And if you keep forcing yourself to essentially do things you hate because you hate yourself, then that reward system's working the other way, and it's never ever going to make you feel motivated. So I don't need motivation to exercise or to eat well because it makes me feel good. This isn't work for me right now because I love mindset. I love helping people. So I'm doing things more and more that make me feel good, which is the dopamine reward system, which is the same as the negative things that I used to do. But again, so simple. You can get this from life or you can get it from Instagram. Most people roll out of bed and pick their phone up straight away because they're looking for a fucking dopamine hit. How many people have viewed my stories? How many people liked my last post? I wonder if somebody's messaged me. Again, they're looking for a dopamine or distraction from reels or tits or ass or pecs or boobs, whatever your thing is. But again, they're looking for dopamine, but it's not real. So you can get that from life. Now, what we need to do with dopamine here, and this is the game changer, right? Attach dopamine to the process, which is internal, not the outcome, which is external. So attach the dopamine to the journey, not the destination. Attach it to the process, not the prize. Because when you fall in love with becoming better, when you fall in love with doing things because you enjoy it and because you love it, and you use the dopamine reward system to create more behaviors of that, which it will subjectively, like I said, that's when you open up new levels of the game. That's when you start wanting to go to the gym, wanting to eat healthy, wanting to do mindset work. Because through the dopamine reward system, it's become a behavior that your body wants to do more of because it gets the payoff. So again, it could be drugs or it could be exercise. It could be porn or it could be a relationship. It could be food or it could be going for a morning walk. It could be Netflix or it could be personal development. All of those can get dopamine when you make the right choice. And the more you do it, the more the reward system will kick in and the more you'll want to do it effortlessly without trying. Because like I said, dopamine doesn't understand good or bad. It doesn't judge. It's just subjective. But what it does is it signals to the brain that it feels good. So then the brain says, do that again, do that again, do that again. And that's how the reward system works. So find what you love that's positive, the process part, the journey part, and do it repetitively. And reward yourself. This is why daily wins are so important. Focusing on what you have done well, not what you haven't done well. So every time you beat yourself up, oh, that training session was fucking wank. Oh, I'm not as good at running as I used to be. Oh God, my run was off today. Oh, I didn't enjoy that. Oh God, I'm not feeling this diet plan. Oh God, this process at work is hard. I can't write emails. I'm rubbish at reels. The opposite is happening. You're never going to want to do it because you're reaffirming yourself that it doesn't make you feel good. But what about if you focus on what you are good at? You big yourself up, what you're proud of. You write down your wins. You write down what you did do well today, no matter how small it was. That's positive dopamine reinforcement. And then you're going to want to do more. So you can program yourself to do positive things that create dopamine. So it hardwires your brain into wanting to do more of them. It's why I've told this story many times. In recovery, those first 365 days, I went for a walk with Frankie every single morning and did an hour's mindset work. That's 365 hours of mindset work. By the third or fourth or fifth month, I didn't even think about getting up. I just got up, put my headphones on, grabbed Frankie, had some water, got out in Eckington Woods. It made me feel good. And the more I did it, the more my body subconsciously did it. So you're programming your mind and your behavior and the dopamine reward system so you do the positive behaviors repetitively because they feel good. And we know where all this starts from. It begins from thoughts. Thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs lead to your behavior. But now we're going to move it on. Your behavior will lead to your dopamine reward, and your dopamine reward will lead to what you do repetitively because your brain will signal, do more of that. It made me feel good. And the things that feel good will be repeated. Now, this is why if your goals are just results based, which is important but you can't control, that's why you're always going to need motivation. So what if we switched the goal today that it was just to feel good? It was just to enjoy life. It was just to enjoy training, just to enjoy the process. Because what you're doing is the opposite. I'm going to take you back to the scales now. You're saying, I will only give myself permission to feel good and release dopamine and create this reward system that leads to my repetitive behavior if that happens at the end of the week on Sunday morning. Or when I get to 12 stone, or when I make 6 figures, or when I have that car, or when I have whatever, I will give myself permission to feel good. That could be years. You can give yourself permission to feel good every day. I can feel good by putting my favourite house record on now really loud and dancing. I can create all of this internally every day if I focus on it. And you can feel good every day, but that has to come down to falling in love with the journey and how it makes you feel. So get addicted to the daily processes that make you feel good. No one ever got up early and went for a walk before work, listening to a mindset podcast and went, I wish I didn't do that today. No one ever made the effort to go to the gym after the work and got the reward and says, oh, fucking hell, proper annoyed at myself for going to the gym after work. I felt terrible. And when you focus on doing things daily that make you feel good, then you'll never need motivation. But celebrate yourself daily for these, what's the word I'm looking for? Processes, behaviours, decisions. And then reinforce your own positive behaviour. And when you reinforce your own positive behaviour and how it makes you feel, then this reprograms your mind, you want to do more. But when you do the opposite, when you do the self-loathing, when you pull yourself down, when you're saying that gym session was rubbish, I'm rubbish at running, I'm a technophobe, I'm rubbish at this, I'm rubbish at that, nothing ever works out for me, blah, 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 you're actually reprogramming yourself to do less. Because you're saying, even though I did that, I still didn't get my dopamine, so there's no point in me do it again. So as I said, if you want to stay motivated, the key thing you need to focus on, outside of everything else we've discussed, is 1, having a strong why, and 2, when you've got all the other 11 things that we discussed, make sure that you're getting addicted to the journey, the daily habits, and how they make you feel. The processes, the actions, the behaviours, you doing the things that make you feel good, rather than focusing on you're only doing them because you think you're going to lead you to a destination, and when you do get to that destination, then you'll give yourself permission to feel good. Guys, today, your challenge, go do things that make you feel good, forget about the outcomes. I love you all. Have a great day.